Yo, what's up? It's Richard, and today I want to sit down and talk a little bit about my experience, how I dropped out of high school to pursue my entrepreneurial journey. Right now I'm living in Bali, Indonesia, and I'm 18 years old, and I dropped out of high school this year. In case you didn't see it, I already posted an article on LinkedIn explaining my story, explaining my situation, how I dropped out of high school. But I really just wanted to, grab my camera and talk on camera and share my story, because I think it's just also a beautiful format to share my story. And I want to rewind everything back to when everything first started. And I mean, it's December of 2018. 2018 is coming to an end. And yeah, now I'm here. So everything started in the summer of 2017. That's when I was still used to be addicted to fitness. And fitness was everything I could ever think of, especially calisthenics. I trained at least 2 to 3 times every single day, including basketball practices and also sports in school. And it was such a cool summer because I went to Portugal with some of my best friends, and we had such a fun time in Portugal. But then all of a sudden my mother messaged me and told me that, yo, Richard, Roman is not coming back. And by the way, in case you didn't know, Roman is my twin brother, and he used to work at a film company at the time in the Netherlands, and we thought he was just staying there for a couple of weeks. But then I got the message, okay, Roman is not coming back, he's staying in the Netherlands. I was like, fuck, wow, that's insane, man. That's so insane that he actually dropped out of high school when he was 17 and then went to the Netherlands. And I mean, time went by, still was in good contact with my brother, but this whole situation with my brother made me just question myself as well, because I could see that Roman was going places. And once he wasn't here anymore, it was just super weird, because especially if you're a twin brother and you're used to living your entire life so far together, being separate is just super weird. And that made me really questioning what I wanted to do. And that was actually the first time where I hit rock bottom in my life. And now looking back, it was probably me just being early in the process, but I really did not know what I wanted to do. And so yeah, again, time went by, I didn't know what I wanted to do. And all I knew, and that was the first time when I realized that, is all I knew is that I didn't want to go to school anymore. Something that a lot of people do not know is that I was such a good student. I only had A's and B's. And I always loved going to school, or not loved, but I didn't actually hate it. I didn't know why people hate going to school. But that was the first time where I questioned going to school. And it made me just realize that being stuck in the system is not what I wanted to do with my life. And that was the moment where I decided, okay, no matter what happens, at the end of the school year, I will drop out of high school. No matter how much money I'm making, no matter where I'm with my life, I will drop out of high school. I actually had plans dropping out of high school earlier, but I talked with my parents about it, and we just came to mutual agreement that I will drop out the end of the 12th school year. And that's when this whole digital marketing thing came up. Actually, I love fitness so much, but I'm enjoying myself working late at night, doing digital marketing, especially SEO. And that was the first time where I was thinking, okay, this could be it. This could be the thing that I wanted to do. And funny enough, 2 of my closest friends, Nikita and Max, and Nikita used to go to school with me, they were also running an SEO agency at the time. And back then it wasn't a serious thing, but you could tell that these 2 people were going places. And then that was the moment where I really wanted to dig deeper into this topic. And I just knew from day one how much potential there's out there with SEO, social media marketing, and especially PPC ads nowadays. And one thing a lot of people do not know is that I've been doing I wouldn't consider it digital marketing, but I've been in the field of especially like social media for so long. Like I've had a YouTube channel in, I think it was 2011. Like back then we were already trying to manipulate things. And so this whole SEO thing, it just looked like a really, really solid option to me. And that's when I decided to, okay, I still have a couple of months. I do not know for certain what I wanted to do. Let's just go all in on that. Let's just try it out and see what happens in a couple of months. And then, yeah, time went by again. It was end of the year, and still remember New Year's Eve. That was the time when like things were picking up really fast with my business. And I still remember being outside on New Year's Eve, and when the clock hit 00, all of the fireworks went out, and I was thinking to myself, damn, 2018 is going to be the greatest year of my life, and I'm so fucking certain about this. It's about to happen. 2018 is going to be the shit. And so yeah, I was super driven, I was super motivated, and then everything collapsed again, because January of 2018 was probably, from a business standpoint, the worst month of my business career so far. And it was just super fucked up, because on one side I was super motivated, but on the other side I was just like, I had so much fear of not making it. And at the time I knew, I was so certain that I'm going to drop out of high school. And being in this position where you're like kind of fearful what's going to happen, especially when you can tell how vulnerable your business is, that was super scary to me. And January was really, that was the time where that was the moment where I hit rock bottom the second time, because I was really questioning my decision to go all in. I was really questioning myself if this was the right decision, and if maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm going to suffer because I made this decision. So I had two options at the time. Either I'm going to stop everything and not drop out of high school, finish school like everyone else, and then probably go to college or do something after high school, or just crush it. Sacrifice everything that I had at the time, especially fitness, and just crush it and do not think of anything else but my business. And I still remember that we had like a skiing trip with our advanced sports level class, and that shit was so much fun. And this week was one week where, that was the first week where I had like 1 week completely off my business. And yeah, I was very thoughtful at the time. Like people could tell that I was just thinking, and I was just super emotional and super in my head at the time. And that was the week where I probably decided to go all in, like for real all in. And after the skiing trip, I sacrificed everything. I sacrificed working out, I sacrificed my sleep, I sacrificed my diet, I sacrificed my overall health, I sacrificed relationships I had with my friends at the time, because business was my priority, obviously. Man, I sacrificed so much shit, but I was super fucking certain that I was going to make it. And I worked my ass off. I worked every single day, literally every single day, no days off. And even during school time, where I had to wake up at 6 a.m., I worked till deep into the night. 12, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., shit. I still remember working till 4 a.m., knowing that I was going to wake up in 2 hours. Even pulled out all-nighters. And things were going great. Things were going really great. Business picked up a lot in the months of February and March. And Roman was in LA at the time, and he was like, yeah, fuck it, come to LA, visit me. And so that's what I did. And in case you didn't know, my birthday is on the 31st of March. So we perfectly scheduled out that I was going to visit my brother in LA over my 18th birthday. And I visited Roman, and that was the high point of 2018. I would consider Bali and LA like the two most fun times in 2018. Had so much fun. Learned so much about myself, and yeah, enjoyed LA a lot. And then Roman came up to me, was like, yo, I'm not enjoying myself anymore in the situation I'm currently in. and he was telling me that, yeah, he kind of wanted to stop working in LA at the time. And in the back of my mind, I was like always, I really do not know what I wanted to do after I drop out of high school, but being together with Roman would be the best thing I could have ever imagined. So in the back of my mind, I was like, okay, I really do not want to like harass him and like tell him, okay, maybe you want to stop doing what you're doing right now and like do something with me together. But all of the sudden, like out of nowhere, he came up to me and was like, yeah, can you imagine yourself like moving out with me? I was like, fuck yeah, dude, that's what we're about to do. We didn't know where we wanted to go, and so we had a couple of options. And I was just so happy because I knew that both of us were going into the right direction. Both of us, you know, picked up our quality of life. And so all of a sudden we came up with this idea to go to Bali. Like out of nowhere we was like, okay, we should definitely go to Bali. And yeah, that was, I still don't know if like we both were like super serious about it. We were just joking around, okay, let's just go to Bali. But like it made a lot of sense. And then time went by again, and it was end of May, I think, where Roman came back from the US, and it was clear that we were going to Bali. It was already locked in. And Roman came back on the 27th of May, and it was just a blessing that he came back, because you know everything started with him going to the Netherlands first and then to the US in the first place. Like all of my emotional highs and lows started at the point where he left, and it was such a pleasure that I knew he was back in Germany, and like not in a way that he never like lived up to the expectations in the US, because that's just bullshit. But I was just so glad that he was back, and we finally were able to spend time together. And I still remember sitting at our dining table, eating lunch together with our entire family, all together once again. I was super happy about it. And then next day, I woke up pretty early because I had to mentally prepare myself for a volleyball exam that I had that day. I was like, all of these days I was thinking about this exam because I really enjoyed playing volleyball. And I woke up early, and I heard this ringing, like this alarm thing. I don't know, it was a super weird noise in our house. And I was like, yo, what is going on? Stayed in my room a couple of minutes, and then decided to, you know, go downstairs. And then there was my dad actually right in front of me telling me my grandmother has passed away. And in this moment I couldn't really comprehend what was going on in my mind, because it was super devastating. It was going from the highest of highs to probably one of the lowest of my lows, because I always had such a good relationship with my grandmother, and that's something that no one knows. My grandmother was the definition of a workhorse. My grandmother actually got arrested during the Second World War because she had to steal food from, I don't know, I think their neighbors, because otherwise she would have starved to death. And so all I could ever think of was, when I'm thinking of my grandmother, is that she had this inner will to never settle. She had the inner will to not give up and to keep pushing through the hardest of times. Like even when she was 80 or 85 years old, she was still working in our small garden that we had at the time almost every single day. And everything I could remember of my grandmother was her work ethic and overall her mindset of being so driven with what you're doing. And it was super devastating because I had a really deep and intense relationship with my grandmother, and so I was super unhappy. The shit that I was going through at the time was just so fucked up. And it was also so weird because like business was going great, but then again like all of this emotional ups and downs the entire road, man, where it was going up and down. It wasn't constant. It was, you know, like this. And then there was around 1 month before I knew that the end of the school year was approaching, and yeah, I had a couple of weeks left in school, and yeah, stuck through going to school. There was also like our Croatia trip was so much fun. And last school day, there it was, like the moment I've worked up to the last like 9 to 12 months. And it was there, and I still remember that particular day because I could really feel inner peace, or not inner peace, but like this big sensation of a relief that I had, because I knew that things are just, my entire daily life structure was shifting, and I finally could emphasize on what I was really passionate about. And yeah, just overall a really, really huge relief. And it felt like I had this huge weights on my back all the time, and I just dropped the weights, and I was free. I was basically free, let's just say it like this. And it was just super weird because you would guess that business would be doing great during that month, or during the next month, let's just say. Well, it actually wasn't, because we actually started to incorporate Roman into our business. And yeah, the learning curve was a hard time getting him into the business. But after a couple of months, after he's gotten comfortable and like confident doing what he's doing, things picked up. And that was just such a blessing, because I had enough time each day for work. I had enough time for fitness. I had enough time for my family. And also enough time for having fun, doing stuff with my friends. And overall, I was just feeling super happy. And like after a couple of months, when business started to get better, we were doing all of these crazy road trips, man. Like, started out with Munich, getting the MacBook in Munich, and you should watch that video. I uploaded it like a couple of days ago. After that, it was Israel. No, Israel was before Munich, sorry. Israel, Munich, then Canada came up, then the Netherlands, then Paris, and then, wow, shit, it was too many road trips either way. It was a lot of fun, and we had probably also had like some of the most funnest times during this period of my life. And yeah, everything was going great. Everything was going super, super great. We had a lot of fun, and everything was in harmony, because it wasn't like this emotional roller coaster anymore, although I also had ups and downs during that time. It was just, things settled a little bit down at the time, but for the better, you know. And now looking back at these couple of months where I was struggling a lot, everything makes sense to me now. And yeah, then Bali was coming up. It was like, I think it was like October, when we realized that Bali was really soon going to happen. And things were frightening me. Also, like, is the lighting still good? I think it's like super dark, but either way, let's continue this video. Things were frightening, and yeah, our house was getting sold, and so I have so many good memories with this house, and like all of the shit that we did in this house, like with our best friends. And it was a little bit frightening going to Bali, because you knew that you would never go back to this life. And yeah, knowing that like things will be different once we come back from Bali. It was a little bit frightening, let me tell you that. But at the same time, I mean, super excited to go to Bali. And yeah, Bali was coming up. Now we're here, and first couple of weeks in Bali, I would consider it like holidays because all we did was just going out, doing shit. And yeah, we finally settled down in this beautiful villa. That probably will be a video on its own, how we got this villa. Either way, in Bali now, super happy. I can truly feel my freedom. And that is the most important thing that I've learned is there are 3 steps. First of all, be sure or be certain that what you're doing is the right thing to do. Then completely crush it, do it 100%, do it, and then don't guilty yourself afterwards. And that's something I've learned. And yeah, now looking back, it probably was the best decision I've ever made. And one thing I've realized is that you really need to make these sacrifices. You really need to, go through the ups and downs, because trust me, at the end, everything is going to be worth it. And it's just a matter of persistence. It's a matter of hard work. If I didn't work my ass off and made these sacrifices that I did at the time, I wouldn't be here. And also one more thing, like people were telling me that I was stupid, sacrificing everything and working so much, and they were saying that I should not do it and just continue doing what I was doing at the time, that was going to school. But I knew that that was the right thing, and I was so certain about it that all of these voices, I just ignored them. That's one more thing that you need to realize, is you need to be in your own head, but you should be in your own head, but you should not be arrogant. That is probably one of the worst traits one can have. But you should be in your own head and you should know what's right for you. And whoa, lightning's going on once again. Forgot what I wanted to say, damn. Either way, now we're here. A lot of videos can be expected now. And Rico, do you have any last words for this video?
Rico!
Shit. Either way, having a lot of fun here. A lot of videos are going to follow up, and I will see you soon.